The OptiFeeSH project is promoted by a consortium of 4 partners, and it's supported by the Eurostars program. The consortium is composed of Sparos and Flatlantic in Portugal. Sparos brings the expertise in fish nutrition and mathematical modeling. Flatlantic, they are a land-based turbot and sole production farm, and they bring the user needs and the practical experience on using production planning. aquaManager A2S in Greece brings their strong expertise in integrated information systems. aquaManager is the leading software for production management in the Mediterranean and other areas of the world. And Blue Analytics in Cyprus brings knowledge on data science and cloud-based solutions. So we have a complementary consortium of very motivated people. Here you see some of us. And I would like to share with you a testimonial by Rui Amaral, who is the production controller of Flatlantic on the use of OptiFeeSH. Would like to start by that.
Anna, we cannot hear the yeah.
I think you'll have to share again, Anna, with sound sharing.
Can you hear it?
No, I think you'll have to start again the sharing, Anna, so that it and allow for the sound.
Yeah,
The strength of this tool is that we can create sound feeding tables to be implemented on field with confidence by our feeders team, and that will give more trust on the daily feeding recommendations and eliminate some of the fluctuations when we follow the appetite perceptions without fear of losing growth. Using the optimization module developed under the OptiFeeSH project framework, Flatlantic created specific SFR and FCR feeding tables. One of its key advantages is the ability to compare predictions with real data as production progresses. The module determines the optimal combination of feeds and feeding rates to achieve a target growth and harvest date, while accounting for various constraints, for example, minimizing feed conversion and nutrient waste, and the specific farming condition at each site, such as temperature profiles, initial stocking weight, and population size. This makes it an extremely valuable tool for production planning and for implementing new strategies directly on the field.
Okay, thank you, Rui, for sharing this testimonial. Today this workshop is a very short workshop. We thought about it as a teaser to catch your interest and to explain you in general terms and to see if you want to join us and spend a bit of more of your precious time on it. So basically today Anna Nobre will share with you a case study for Seabream cage farming, and then Angeliki will give you an overview of the OptiFeeSH tool. Then we'll have a short time for questions and answers by you. Please type them in the chat tool of Teams. And we hope then if you get really interested, and we hope you will, please join us for a live demo in Valencia at booth 102 at Aquaculture Europe. If you are not able to attend the Valencia meeting for some reason, please contact us for further online demonstration that we can arrange with you. So, and with this, I will pass the floor to Anna.
Thank you, Luís. And sorry?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Luís, and to all that are with us today. Before we dive into the use case, let me just tell you briefly that currently OptiFeeSH is being tested by several farms. You already heard Rui from Flatlantic, Rui Amaral, which are project partners and currently are carrying out several industrial trials with very enthusiastic results. And this is also being, the OptiFeeSH solution is also being used by Seabream and bass farms. And more recently, we also have a tilapia pilot, and we will be glad to learn from it soon. So today we want to share with you how OptiFeeSH works in practice using a real-world case study for bream cage farm, considering Mediterranean production conditions. If you have any question during this very short presentation, please type at the Q&A box for the session after. So as you see from this table, the data required to insert at OptiFeeSH is minimal. You have the yearly temperature profile, the current SFR and FCR tables, the feed specification, including digestible energy, protein, and price, initial fish number, and the mortality rate, and the target growth, and you should also insert 3 economic factors to calculate the profit. With this data, OptiFeeSH creates multiple pairs of SFR and FCR tables, which we call a plan. And the first thing a user checks or in the solution is the corresponding growth curves for each plan and the specific feeding rates. Let me raise your attention to one of the OptiFeeSH plans called the meat requirements. This is a very important plan that delivers the specific feeding rates that provide the feed quantity required to meet the user target growth curve. This plan is biologically driven, meaning that it is created with a nutritional-based modeling engine that is calibrated per species. And just to give you a better understanding of what is the meat requirements plan, let's look on how it predicts growth, considering the starting weight and temperature profile of a real cage and how these growth predictions compare with the samplings. As you see here, by the match of the blue of these blue dots, which are the fish weight samplings, and the red line, which is the predicted growth using the meat requirements, it aligns perfectly all over the production cycle. And now let's see how realistic the SFR values of the meat requirements plan are. And how can we do that? Well, these analyses for the SFR values must be made with data from cages that are very good concerning feeding practices and data gathering, which is the case of this cage we are looking into it. And so let's compare how the data SFR compares with the SFR values of the meat requirements plan. The data SFR is represented with these blue light dots, which represent the SFR at sampling days, and you also have these darker blue dots, which is the daily SFR. Overall, the red dots, which is the meat requirements plan, predicted SFR, align closely with the observed data, suggesting that the meat requirements plan, this yellow one, this red one, offers a more accurate feeding guide than the current plan, which is represented in the chart with these green dots here. Now, besides creating these meat requirement plans that we have been showing just now, OptiFeeSH calculates other pairs of SFR and FCR tables that provide balanced plans to that optimize between growth rate, feeding conversion efficiency, and profitability. In this case study, what we can see is that all OptiFeeSH plans are forecasting a better profit and FCR than the current plan. The choice then to which one to adopt, if it is the meat requirements, if it is this plan 3 with a slighter, faster growth and improved profits, will be up to the farm manager. My colleague Andrea Raposo will explore a bit more in detail how to navigate among these multiple plans next week in Aquaculture Europe in Valencia. In between, as a wrap-up for this case study, I will leave you with these 3 key take-homes. With OptiFeeSH solution, farm managers can reliably forecast bream production. The SFR tables that are part of the production plans created by OptiFeeSH provide, as you just saw, a robust reference for the daily feeding operations. And for this case study, all the production plans created by OptiFeeSH improve the cage profitability while ensuring the target growth. This is all for today. This is really brief, just to give you an overall idea. Please type all the questions you have in the Q&A and visit us in Valencia. I will now pass the floor to my colleague Angeliki, that will give you a brief overview of the OptiFeeSH tool.
Hello, everyone. You can hear me fine, right?
Yes.
So after the wonderful results that Anna showed us, let's see how we can very easily generate such plans. Together, we will just see the 3 simple steps that a user has to follow. The first thing that we have to do is input some simple production data. For example, the species that we are working with, the temperature profile that we have on our farm, as well as the SFR and the FCR table that we are currently using on our farm. All of this is already being configured on the setup, which means that you can play with several different species, different SFR tables, different temperature profiles. For my example, and for the sake of this just view, I will start with 10,000 fish, so you can play with the stocking conditions and the targets that you want to create the feeding plans for. Let's start with 2.5 grams, for example. You can play with the stocking dates as well. For the sake of this example, I will start my cycle on May. I will assume a total mortality rate for the total period to allow the program to have a more realistic outcome at the end of the day. I'm targeting at 450 grams, and I'm expecting this to be delivered on the 1st of July. So you can see you can very easily generate a target and a scenario. To make this even more realistic, you can also import economic information. So for this example, I will sell my fish at 6.5. I will say that the fry cost is 0.3, in my case euros, and also add some general expenses. After I have created my scenario, I can just hit save and the platform will run. To save you from waiting, it's going to take a minute. It will take us to the results screen. So in the results screen, we can see a list of all the feasible plans that the platform created for us. This is the meat requirements plan that Anna talked to you about. As you can see, you can very quickly compare plans by seeing the growth curve on the right. You can select a lot of them, including your own input production plan, which is the one that you already use in your farm. You can have multiple KPIs, accumulated KPIs for each plan. Of course, all of this is exportable, so you can take it out and do further analysis. So on the right, again, you can see the growth curve and the specific feeding rate. On top of that, we have created the compare results tool, which is the last thing that Anna talked to you about. So you can pick up actual real cages, real data, and compare them to the OptiFeeSH plans. So this is very easy again to generate. You just select the OptiFeeSH plan that you are interested in, import just a couple of daily data sets, and very quickly you can generate the charts that Anna showed you from the real case study. You can see the growth curve and how the cages with the real data would grow with the OptiFeeSH plans, as well as some accumulated KPIs. And again, all of this is exportable, so you can do further analysis. And with that being said, we can jump into the Q&A. Let me make this wider.
Thank you, Angeliki, for the demonstration. It was really interesting to see how the tool works and all the valuable insights you can get from it. Anna, we have some questions in the chat. So Hans is asking, what is the cage volume on the example that you displayed?
Well, the cage volume is not one of the informations we need to create these predictions. So to be honest, I'm not sure about what is this cage, for this case study, what is the cage volume.
Do you think that it's not relevant with what the system needs to have to calculate?
Yeah, for the way it works, the cage volume is something that we will not be taking into account. Yes.
Okay, and Hans has a second question as well. Can a range of harvest size and dates be modeled in a large cage? Multiple harvest dates are needed, right? He needs to assess stress accumulation into account.
I'm not sure if I'm understanding the question. Can I ask you once? I know you will not be able to talk. Can you put the questions in the Q&A to allow the proper discussion? In the Q&A for Hans and everybody that is listening, in the Q&A box, and can you please reformulate the question? At least I'm not understanding what is being. What is the question? Maybe Angeliki or Luís, maybe you guys understand?
I would need it rephrased, to be honest. If I understood correctly, Hans, you're interested in doing multiple harvests within the tool? Is that the question?
Well, for multiple harvests, the suggestion would be that you take create the simulations step by step. So you can do up to the 450 gram stage, and then create another scenario for what's coming next. Let's say up to 100 gram bream size.
For people asking if the slides would be available in the end of the recording, we will send a follow-up email with the recording of the whole session, and we can definitely share them with you afterwards. I don't know if it's going to be in a PDF format. I think we're going to work towards that. Anna, should we proceed to the next question? So Tran is asking, what are the feeding programs for Seabream from 2.5 grams to 450 grams? And can OptiFeeSH be adjusted according to different aquafeed brands, considering their variations in nutritional composition? That's a great question.
That's a great question. Yes, indeed. We didn't talk much about the feed specification, but that's really a great question that opens the space here to talk a bit about it. So yes, when you mention feeding program, we normally call it the feeding regime, and that is something a user inserts in their SFR tables. In their SFR tables by mentioning what is each feed is being used for which fish weights, and for each feed you specify the digestible and crude energy and protein. And so if you have different feeding regimes, you definitely can and should create different predictions for each of the feeding regimes you have.
Great. Anna, what about the next question? If population numbers are inaccurate, will OptiFeeSH be able to gauge population numbers and adjust feed requirements? Dan is asking.
That's in the chat, right? Okay.
Yes.
Population numbers, etc. Just feeding gauge. Yeah, I'm not sure, Angeliki. Then please check if my answer. I'm not sure if I understood completely the question, but the OptiFeeSH will work like this. It will work with the SFR rates, so it's by it's per fish weight, and when we have the initial fish number and mortality rates, it means that we'll have the number of fish for each day, and the program will calculate then the feeding quantity in these last slides where you have all the KPIs, the feeding quantity adjusted for the population. So if the question is if the population's numbers are inaccurate, how you do it, I imagine you are talking in practice, right? In practice, what you will take out from OptiFeeSH will be the SFR and FCR tables. And with that, you plug in your farm management system like aquaManager, and in that, the SFR is converted into feed quantity that should be delivered to the cage. And if you have the wrong fish number, the feed quantity definitely will not match. So it's really important when you are using the SFR and FCR tables from OptiFeeSH, it's really important that you also have your biomass estimates right. On the other hand, you might use it also to fine-tune when there are some guesses or issues with the biomass estimates. You might use the feed quantity estimates versus what is the feed being delivered based on the appetite perception. You might use it to gauge on what is the biomass that is in the cage. Don't know if you want to add something, Angeliki.
Yes, I want. So I will answer this question assuming that you know in which maybe average weight size you have this adjustment in population, maybe because you cannot do a lot of samplings, a lot of countings, and so on. So we have incorporated the tool, I didn't show you to keep it simple, that allows you to adjust the feeding quantities and the SFR factors on specific sizes. So that way you can adjust the feed requirements if you have somehow known percentage of population adjustments.
Great. We have a bit more time for questions in case someone is interested. Until then, I will remind you that you must feel free to contact us in case you want a demonstration. I'm sure both Sparos and our team can assist you with that. And also, as you see on your screen, you can have a live demonstration in Valencia in the EAS event. You can see the booth numbers down there.
Okay, Eleftheria, I will just add, there has also been a question here that we have not answered yet. There was one about if there will be a demo version available for teaching purposes.
Yes.
This is not, we didn't think about that, but it's a good suggestion, so we will consider it. We'll see if we manage to do that. It can be a useful solution. Yes, and if there are no further questions, then we'll wrap up for today, and we'll thank you all for attending this short webinar. And as we said, we'll hope to see you in Valencia next week. You've seen the boot number from Sparos and from aquaManager, and please keep in mind that, as Anna mentioned, Andrea Raposo will also be giving a presentation with more details on the specific case study on the Seabream. So you are also very welcome to attend that session. And if you're not able to join us in Valencia, please contact us to digitalnutrition@sparos.pt, and we can arrange a meeting with you to further discuss the use of OptiFeeSH. Okay. Thank you all for attending, and thank you, Eleftheria, Anna, Angeliki, and Andrea for participating in this effort. Thank you very much to all, and see you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.